More than 3 months after an Air India flight, which was on its way to Gatwick Airport from Ahmedabad, crashed, and all the people on board that flight died except for one person. There were 12 crew members also, and 229 of the 230 passengers aboard died. And on the ground, also 19 people were killed and 67 were seriously injured. You can see on the screen that's those who died in that crash, their loved ones grieving their loss. Now, the investigations are still underway. What exactly happened? What led to this crash? And now, a writ petition has been filed. Uh, the writ herein is Safety Matters Foundation, the petitioner, which is an NGO based in India, with the main objective of establishing a generative aviation safety culture in India. The founder of the organization is Captain Amit Singh. Uh, he has, in fact, he joins us right now. Welcome to Mojo Story, sir. Sir, you have filed this writ petition. Can you tell us that what exactly uh, you are seeking and what is this writ petition all about?
So, Safety Matters Foundation is an NGO which is working towards enhancing safety in aviation, and we have been working in the areas of conducting survey. We conducted the first aviation culture survey, then the pilot fatigue survey, and in other areas. And we published many reports, publications, uh, sent supportive suggestions to the government, like for restructuring of the DGCA and bringing out a roadmap, a white paper on aviation. So it's a think tank also, which wants to support and collaborate with the government and other stakeholders to enhance the safety. So we believe that one of the biggest stakeholders is the public, the traveling public, and
Right.
they have a right not only to life and safety, but also to the knowledge of how safe their flight is, the particular flight they're taking or the aircraft they're boarding in. So they have a
Exactly.
right to that information. And to that effect, we have been analyzing other incidents, accidents, and uh, querying suggestions, giving suggestions, and trying to basically collaborate with all the stakeholders to enhance safety. So, after this accident, we had a lot of hope that this time we'll do uh, a very good job and showcase to the world how good our investigative procedures and processes are, the people here, the softwares that we have, and that we have a if India is going to be the third largest aviation market, then we have a solid foundation, or we want to build a solid foundation on which we can basically uh, become the largest or the leading aviation market, and strong foundation in terms of safety and training of personnel. However, when we see the preliminary report, that is quite disheartening and kind of uh, it basically insinuates and takes a
Yeah.
narrative towards the pilot,
Right.
not directly blaming, but it is positioning certain phrases and certain lines, sentences in such a way that the public perception is towards the pilot's mental health and kind of a suicide theory, which is
Hmm.
being projected by the media to support this narrative and giving a clean check to the technical aspects, whereas there were glaring technical failures on the aircraft, which were totally ignored in the preliminary report. So, preliminary report, the basic objective is not to analyze because it is too early and a lot of investigation is due, but give the factual information, whatever facts that you have, that you give, not selective information that was given in this preliminary report. So, further, we wrote to the government that these are certain points that we need clarity on, more work needs to be done. And since this is a major accident, it is not an ordinary accident. You just listed number of more than 260 people have died on board, on ground, and so many other lives would be affected directly or indirectly because of their connections with these people who have passed away. So, an accident is basically a systemic failure in which it
Yeah,
is not a technical aspect or one person uh, doing a mistake. It is basically the error passing on through various uh, checkpoints or barriers, what we call. And
right.
aviation is such a highly regulated industry. It is supposed to be the safest industry because of the number of checks and balances and safety, the safety net. But if this error passes through, which means that there's a systemic failure, the whole system at some point or the other has failed to address certain issues, be it recruitment of pilots, training of pilots and engineers, air traffic
Right.
controllers, rescue fire services, etc. So there has to be a bigger kind of an inquiry or
Right.
investigation which looks at all aspects so that this does
Yeah.
not repeat. So
So
that is why,
essentially, you're saying that the preliminary findings, you're not so satisfied with them because they point towards a particular direction. You want an objective analysis and experts in the field to take that investigation to its logical conclusion.
correct. So even the International Civil Aviation Organization, in its Annex 13, which is a document, states that in case of a major accident, the help of all the experts should be sought, which
Yeah.
means it should not be limited to an in-house investigation or a closed-door investigation. So the idea is to get to the root cause and find out the root cause so that it does not repeat. So we have to bring in experts from outside or domain
Yeah.
experts in India or abroad, whoever they are. We have so many pilots who have flown the 787s and they have in depth knowledge, engineers and other experts, technical experts, scientists who can come in and give their expert opinion to build a report which we can showcase to the world that this is what we are capable of and these are the safety standards in India. However, the investigation team itself comprises of 5 people as per the preliminary report. 3 of them belong to the DGCA itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
DGCA is a regulator which uh, will be looked at in the investigation process because they were in charge of the
Yes.
safety oversight. And why did the safety oversight fail? So, since they are themselves under investigation, how can their people
So they are
comprise?
a party to all of this. How can they be a part of the
Yeah.
investigation? That's what you're saying. Uh,
So,
but
the prayer is basically that we need, or the public needs to know, has the right to information. So, they need the full disclosure of the flight data recorder and the transcript of the cockpit voice recorder, because what is presented in the preliminary report is a paraphrased version of what an investigator heard over the CVR, and it has never happened. There's no precedence like this that some information has been presented in this way, paraphrased. Either it
yeah,
is with a timestamp and actual verbatim, otherwise it is not presented because it can
right.
mislead. That is also what the ICAO says.
Yes, and that was the paraphrased conversation between the pilots. We want that an exact conversation that happened rather than a paraphrased conversation with a proper timeline, timestamp that what exactly was happening there inside. All of that should be put out.
So we want to know in the 10 seconds when the report says that the fuel control switches transitioned from run to cutoff and then back to run when one of the engines started reviving, what was happening in that 10 seconds? So that is most crucial. What were the pilots discussing or talking amongst themselves? Were they seeking any help or were they troubleshooting something? What were
Right,
the faults in the aircraft before and during the flight? So none of them have been given in the report. Uh,
right,
Information which is of no use has been given, like when the ram air turbine, which generates the emergency power, started pressurizing the hydraulic. So we are in no way concerned with that. We want to know when did the ram air turbine deploy, but that gives a good indication of when the engines failed. So they have given information which is of no use, or rather misleading information, inaccurate
Right.
information. So this
Right.
kind of selective information, and the selective leak which has happened in the foreign media, especially Wall Street Journal, which 2 days before the preliminary report gave out that people that they have information from credible sources in the investigation team that the fuel control switches are being looked at. So they were privy to information rather than the public here, who are closer to the people who are affected, and they need to know what is happening. So that
Yes.
communication is not happening.
Right. So basically, an objective investigation so that truth comes out, and because there's trust of people that's involved in all of this, and everybody is looking forward to the conclusions of that investigation. Thanks so much, Captain Amit Singh ji, for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts. Thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo story.
Thank you very much.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.